What's up, y'all? We just completed week 4 of the account. Right now, we are looking at just about a 22% win rate, and we have a 31% equity increase with a 31% balance increase. Now, I decided to change the colors from green to blue, so you'll see blue circles from now on. But essentially, we took 9 trades. 2 of those were won, 0 were closed at break even, and 7 trades were lost. But as you can see, we started a balance with just about 378.62, and then we ended with a balance of 495.26. Now, just going over the week, this trading week went for a little while. I'd say we went from just about April 21st to June, which was yesterday, June 10th, was the entire trading week. So this was a very long week. There weren't too many positions taken, but as you can see, we had some fluctuations in price. We would go up to just about a bounce of 551. The highest we went to was about 730-ish, but that was not closed volume. That was open volume, so that doesn't count. And you can see, just remaining consistent here. Not too bad, also not too good. But this was one of the things that I was anticipating when it came down to me changing my risk to reward ratio moving forward, because that was something that I really wanted to work on, was having a higher risk to reward ratio and being able to risk more on my trades. Because with me going for a 7-1, now I can miss 5 trades back to back and still maintain a profitability, because for every $25 I'm losing, I'm making whatever 7 times that is. This is a perfect example of how it doesn't really matter about how many times you win. It doesn't matter about your win percentage. All it matters about is your ability to manage the account properly. And that's where a lot of traders do get mixed up, is that they really believe that having a higher win percentage is always the best thing, which is not the case. Let's say I do incur a 85% win percentage over a trading week, whereas I took 10 trades, 15 trades, or even 5 trades. Now, that's just a huge week for me. An average week looks just like this. You're going to see some losses. You're going to see some wins. You're going to see some break evens. You're going to see some equity, non-changes. That's just a part of trading. That's the boring part that really isn't documented a lot of times. Normally it's just highlights. And I understand that. The same way when you're going through basketball or football in high school or even college, you're making a highlight reel. You're not making low lights and regular lights. You're just looking to find the highest moments of when things happen. And that's what a lot of traders do. But over here, we're going to show everything, because I want to fully encapsulate the entire journey so you can understand what you're getting yourself into. Because when you're hopping into trading and you just look at a bunch of highlights and then you actually see what's happening on the real day-to-day basis, it's going to be night and day. And I don't want you to have like this huge slap in the face when it does happen to you, because you just didn't know. You were always looking at highlights. Now, of course, there are going to be highlights on this channel. When I do have great weeks, you're going to know about it. When I have great days, you're going to know about it. I go over my highlights as well, but I also go over my low lights and my regular lights. And this is just me going over my regular lights. There wasn't too much that happened. There was a lot of uncertainty going into this trading week, and that's just surrounding the pound and also the dollar, but more so the dollar. We had a lot of entries that were stopped out due to, simple things like the markets not knowing how to price in certain type of data and just uncertainty. Like, for instance, I believe it was, I think it was, I don't remember what it was, but there was some data that dropped and it was negative for the US dollar, but for some reason it affected the markets positively for the US dollar, which, normally wouldn't happen, but these things are happening because we're in unprecedented times. This time for a lot of traders has not happened prior. I was just earlier watching Paul Tudor Jones on Bloomberg, because my man's is one of the best traders that has lived. He has one of the biggest firms. He's made some of the biggest gains. It may not be in currencies, but I actually don't even know what the fuck he's in, but he's in a lot of asset classes. He knows what he's talking about, right? And one thing that he said that stood out to me was that we're in a time where we haven't traded tariffs in like the last 30 plus years. So everybody who's in the markets right now are essentially like going through in a time where a lot of traders have not had to experience. So this is going to be something that's going to be talked about in like 10 years from now. So for me, my main thing is just holding on to my strat and just continuing to work technicals. Even though I don't really understand the economic data and I'm looking to understand the economic data, it's still good to refine your technicals, get better, and move on. Now, some of the takeaways that I do have for this week, I did not write anything down like I normally do. I'm going to actually go in after we do make this video and go over some of the things that I was just thinking about when it came down to my trading week. Because as you can see, we took 2 trades, 7 trades were lost. We should have had just about 2 trades closed at break even. So that was one oversight error that I did make. And I talked about that in my previous video. Right now, we do have a position open on GU. And by the time this video is uploaded, it's going to be completed. But we have a position open on GU that the first one ended up getting stopped out for about 15 pips. And that was a learning experience. And now, as you can see, we re-entered. And on top of that, you can see this week has been a little troubling. Not too serious though, because we're still up on the account from when it began, and we will be doing an account update for the month in about 2 trading days, because this right now we're on trading day number 28, and with this trade that is submitted, we're going to be on trading day number 29, and then we have one more day, and then we'll be doing the full 30-day update on the account that we started with just about $242 ish, and it's making some good progress. I'm not going to scroll all the way back up there, but you get the gist of what's going on. All right, so let's go ahead and break down the trades that we did take for this week. Now, full disclaimer, some of the trades that I did take, I did not annotate and actually do the, like copy the chart down and put it in the chat, because I was busy with other things. I was managing my other channel and, just dealing with life stuff. Okay, so I ended up forgetting, and I made that promise in my last video that I'm not going to forget anymore. Even if it's later that day, I'm going to make sure that I do update and put in the charts. So we have this GU trade from May 6th. This was one of the first trades that we ended up taking. And as you can see, we ended up getting stopped out. So it came back down for a small loss of about 22, 23-ish pips. You can see I was looking to ride the continuation of this retracement here, but it did not hold. And this was the 1.33 area, which it did explode from there eventually. But you can see right after that, we got an immediate re-entry off of that next rejection. And this is May 7th, so the next day. So just about 8 hours passed or something like that. And then we have that rejection right there. And then we had another one right here. So I entered in on this level of support. And I don't know how that one turned out. I believe that one hit take profit. Let me see really quick. It was 548, right? 508. So I don't know where I pulled that from. Oh no, it's this next one. Okay, so this next one ended up getting stopped out. So we got stopped out for just about 20 pips. We re-entered again, and we got a total of just about minus 45 altogether on that order. Now, moving forward, we have another trade set up taken on May 23rd, which was our next trading day. And as you can see, we hit take profit for just about a 7-to-1 RR. So those 2 losses were recouped. We got another entry on the continuation from the retest that originally happened on our entry down here. And we wrote that as well for just about a 7-to-1 RR. All right. And then lastly, we have this trade setup that was taken over here. Is this main one here that ended up getting stopped out. And we took that simply because it was a continuation and we had a level of resistance that was formed. This is after the US data. We were in profit a good amount, and then essentially the price turned around because of some underlying factors, understanding that this was a level of resistance, that was I believe it was a weekly area, and I don't think there was any other news that ended up happening aside from, I think it was unemployment being a little bit lower than expected and creating more jobs, and that led to the dollar gaining some weight behind it. Now, I'm going to try to make this a little bit shorter just because, okay, now that we got the breakdown out the way, I want to go ahead and go over my takeaways. So for this week, one of the things that I massively took away was some strategy adjustment in how I enter into certain types of positions, because before I had a certain system going on and I needed to mesh it with the old system that I use as well, because during that time I was also profitable. Now that I have all the information from the data that I've been going through and testing for the past 2.5, maybe 3 years, I feel more confident to put the old plus the new and have certain risk management plans for each one. Something else that I need to work on would be my position management. I ended up slipping up on a position management. I can understand why I did slip up on that, simply because I was focusing on so many things at one time and I just made a huge oversight error, which I wouldn't even say it was huge. It was just, I just forgot. The same way how on my gaming channel, I forgot to upload one of my videos and uploaded the sequel to that video before uploading the main video. Also, another takeaway was just to have fun and enjoy the process, enjoy what I'm doing. I understand that the trading challenge is a little bit difficult, but I love challenges and I love challenging myself and seeing just what I can make of a certain situation. So just need to have fun during the process and not be so hard on myself about every little thing. And lastly, just completely living vicariously in the moment, not focusing on anything that I miss or anything that could be, but focusing on what is in front of me on a day-to-day basis. If you're new to this channel and you want to see me continue on with my journey and see any more trading challenges or even ask me any types of questions, make sure you do like, comment, and subscribe, turn on post notifications. And if you ever need a place to be, I do have a trading community, Currency Collectors. It is completely free unless you want to join the VIP, where I do trade alerts and live streams. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.